Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is another episode and I have my wonderful guest back, my sister Mary.
Hello.
We're continuing the review of our travels through Europe. We went to Paris and Latvia this just like a month ago, goodness gracious.
A month and a half,
yeah. So we did a review on Paris already and that's posted. So today we're going to talk about Latvia and 3 things we really liked about Latvia, 3 things that we did not like so much about Latvia. Okay, so we'll start with the good things first.
Yeah.
Number 1, what we really both loved about it was the nature.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Both the woods, because we had a drive, we had like a 3-hour drive because we drove from Riga to Liepāja and we went through the forest. So beautiful, like birch forest, just I don't know.
And so we went in October, so it's like fall.
Yeah,
and
so
it was
the
just
leaves are turning perfect. Yeah, it was just gorgeous. And then we went to 2 different beaches, one in Liepāja and one in Jūrmala. And Liepāja was very, both beaches were amazing. Surprisingly, we were very surprised, especially Liepāja, because Liepāja is not a very big town. And it was just this amazing powder soft sand.
It reminded me of Cancun or like Monterey from California.
Very, very like world-class beach. The only thing
Carmel.
is, Carmel. It was very, very soft, and it was a giant beach. The only thing is it said no swimming, and I don't know if there was just no swimming at that season, and maybe in the summertime there is season, you can swim, but it said like no swimming sharks. So I don't know if the sharks have seasons. Maybe the sharks don't, bite people in the summertime. Yeah. But very,
or they just,
I don't know what, but yeah. So no swimming, but otherwise is gorgeous. And Jūrmala, unfortunately, we were there for very little and we were there only in the evening. But there's a lot of really fun cafes in Jūrmala, very, touristy, very fun. Like you could tell like it's fun nightlife when it's the season. And again, we were there in October, so weather was changing already, so it was kind of cold. But again, it was a huge beach, beautiful, long beach, also soft sand, but not as soft as Liepāja.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But very, very nice. So nature in both the forest and
even the foresty areas of Jūrmala.
Yeah.
Or like the park that was there. I mean, it was just like...
Yeah, their parks were amazing. We went, so in Liepāja, there was this huge park also by the beach that was really nice. And there's like really great attraction for kids there. Very, 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 I don't know, very, very surprising.
I wish I was a kid.
Yeah, because they have this amazing
run around.
playground.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a weird thing to really like, but it was just surprised us how great it was. And then in Jūrmala, it was even, I don't know about the playground, but they had these climbing things where they had
I think they called it like a tarzanka or something.
Maybe Tarzan something. Yeah. Because they had these, like really high up in the trees, they had these like nets and like ropes that you can climb on, and it was for children. And of course, kids had the safety,
like a harness where they attached themselves and they would like.
But still, it was like really amazing. I've never seen anything like it. So very cool, like very creative.
And it was cheap, fairly cheap.
Fairly cheap. Yeah. Those playgrounds. But anyway, so we really liked the nature. That was really, really wonderful. The other thing we really liked in Latvia was it was very clean. Yeah. Very clean.
Like, I remember you said, you were like, you know what? I don't think I see even like a piece of wrapper on the ground. And that's in Riga, Jūrmala, and Liepāja.
Yeah. Very clean. And also, well, 2 things I want to say. The roads, because it's so clean, the roads are really nice to drive on, because I don't know if they're just newly paved or something. They were like super smooth, super clean, super straight. It was just clean. Very clean. And the only thing is, we did watch somebody review Riga just recently, and he was walking through a park that we walked through, and there was trash there. So I don't know if it's like on certain seasons that it's very clean. We went in October, so keep that in mind. But it was just, when we were there, it was unbelievable, to the point where there weren't even any homeless people. We saw like one homeless-ish person in Riga and one in Jurmala. And I don't know what they do with all their homeless people. Maybe it was already getting cold, so they were like in shelters or something. I don't know, but it was, the streets were really clean.
So clean.
Yeah. And then number 3 that we really liked, what was number 3?
Dang.
Oh, it's very easy for Russian speakers to get around. So we're Russian, and it's very easy because I think like 90% of the people there speak Russian. And at least a little bit of Russian, maybe even 100, I don't know. It's a very high percentage of people who speak Russian. In fact, we didn't even know what Latvian sounded like by the time we were leaving. We're like, maybe that's Latvian, because it's kind of hard to tell if it's Latvian or if it's just another international language, because once in a while you'll hear like German or Swedish or something. So we weren't sure, but everyone pretty much speaks Russian there. And so it's very easy to get around. And also what I wanted to say also about that is, because there's so many Russian speakers there and because of the former Soviet Union, there's quite a bit of interesting restaurants that cater to that public. And there's a very specific restaurant called Lido. Very good.
I think it's Lido's.
Lido, I don't know. Anyways, good Russian food.
We went there more than once.
Yeah, it was amazing. They have everything. It was just like this giant cafeteria, and you get to choose, and they have food, everything from grechka, which is buckwheat. They had жареная картошка, which is fried potatoes, which is like such home cooked food.
That's what it felt like. It was home cooked.
Home cooked food.
Yeah.
To like plov, which is Uzbeki pilaf. So just like everything that you could kind of think of. They had different blinchiki, which are like type of crepes. Yeah. It was amazing. So they cater to Russian speakers, and they cater, and so it's easy to get around, easy to get some good food.
And also, I mean, they do speak English, but
they do
not as much as Russian.
No, they don't not as much, especially in like Latvia, which is a smaller town. Mostly we had to speak Russian there to get around, although there were some English speakers, of course, as well.
I feel like maybe the younger generation
definitely
speaks more English.
Speaks more English.
Definitely more Russian than anything.
Yeah, so that was definitely it was easy for us because of that. Okay, and then so 3 things that we did not like so much. Number 1 is don't rent a car in Latvia. Oh my gosh, it's just like such a disaster.
It was such a headache. It was so much drama.
So much drama, to the point where it was drama even after we came back from Latvia, because we received 2, not 1, but 2 speeding tickets.
Yeah, we did get a parking ticket.
We also got a parking ticket. We've collected every violation you could probably think of, probably with that car. But we got 2 speeding tickets through when we were driving through the forest, which is hard to imagine. Although even if there were cameras, it's kind of hard to dispute. Well, here's the thing. It was impossible for us to dispute, because the way it works in Latvia is if you rented a car and you get a speeding ticket, the rental company immediately pays that ticket. And when they pay that ticket, they automatically charge you because you have their credit, your credit card's on their file. So it's pretty much like just, you get a ticket and you like automatically charged for it without any time limits or dispute. You can't dispute it. And
the reason why we have difficulty believing that we were speeding is because I was in the front, you were driving, and it was like we were very careful in following the speed limit. Like we were, I don't know, we were always making sure. And the only time where we would actually speed up is like to pass somebody, but literally everyone was doing that.
Yeah.
Everyone, of passing by like trucks, that just take a lot of space.
Because sometimes there's like a giant, because there's only one way this way and one way this way. So like it's very, you could, if you wanted to pass one, you have to go on the oncoming traffic lane. And obviously you have to do that really quick because you don't want to get hit by a car. And so you like speed up and then you get back into your lane, and you do that with like big trucks. Like sometimes it's those semi trucks that are transporting something, so they're driving really, really, really slowly. And I mean, I don't know if everyone in Latvia is just constantly getting speeding tickets because everybody's literally doing that. And we probably did that only a handful of times. Maybe 5 times we did that on the entire 3-hour trip. So maybe the cameras were just so serendipitously placed that like they caught us 2 of the 5 times we did that on a giant stretch of road. Or like maybe I almost feel like it's what is more likely is that there's like maybe the rental companies are in cahoots with like whoever's getting the tickets, because you're automatically just charged for it. You can't do anything about it. And you're also, you know, half the world away. So what are you going to spend time disputing something in Latvian? Because everything has to be in Latvian. So like, it's just.
And then we had a parking ticket.
We got a parking ticket
because we parked in a handicapped area, but it's not how it is in America. You know how in America it's like that big blue square with a person in a wheelchair, white border around it. It's not like that in Latvia. It's
like a regular parking spot. Yeah. Regular parking spot. And even on the sign that that we were facing, it didn't say anything. The only time that once we got a ticket, because the thing is that sign that we were facing, it tells you like it's a 2-hour limit or something. So we made sure that we came back in 2 hours, but we came back in 2 hours and we have a ticket, and we're like, what the heck for? And we found out later that it was because we parked in a handicapped, and we were like, there was no sign. So we went back to the scene of the crime and we looked all around, and it turns out it was on the back side of the pole that was holding all the major signs that were telling us like 2-hour limit and whatever. So it was like super, super hidden. Anyways, it was just ridiculous. It was like a ticket waiting to happen. Like they're like waiting to catch people to park in the wrong spot. So it was ridiculous because of that. And then, of course, just even renting the car was kind of a disaster because they're not very, they try to sell you the most expensive car, even though you'll find a deal online, and it's like hard to like get that deal, even though you're like, you know, you basically have to argue your way through. Then you get the car, and they kind of try to catch you on anything. You know, they try to catch you like they try to catch us that like we scratched a car. It was just, it was like a giant headache. And then, it was not fun. So if you must, just know what you're getting into. You're probably going to get a couple speeding tickets, whether or not you sped. And it's just going to be a headache. So know that. But otherwise, just try not to rent a car.
Our other option was to
do a shuttle
or like a bus, but it just didn't work out for us. So we had to get the car. But
it's just a giant. I'm I have like PTSD now. I'm like waiting for like another notification that they're going to charge us for something else for renting the car in Latvia. But anyways, don't do it as much as you can. Just don't do it. And then the other thing that we really didn't like was, what was number 2?
I don't know what number 2 was.
Well, number 3 was that we didn't think people were very friendly.
But not that, I don't know, like they just, like I told Vika, it's just, they do the bare minimum. And they don't really care, you know, like.
They're very cold in terms of hospitality. Like we were expecting France to be kind of like that, like people just kind of aloof, standoffish, don't help very much. But we found that French people were very, very, very kind, actually. Not necessarily kind, but they're very helpful in that regard. But Latvians, unfortunately, they were very just, if they had to, if we needed help and we asked a question, they look like they would rather be anywhere else but helping. You know, they would like practically roll their eyes. You know, and even if like we're asking help, not just like some random people on the street, but like the workers of the, like we literally were asking help from one of the ladies who was selling tickets when we were buying tickets to Udall, and she's like, she would like have a major sigh before every sentence she said.
And literally like rolling her eyes all the time. I mean, like it was fine. Like we got our tickets and we ended up having a great time in Udall. But we're like, wow, this is what you get when you come here.
Or like we went to like a lounge, and the bartenders, you know, like you make, at least even if it's busy, right? You in America, you make eye contact with the bar guys. and then they'll like, if it's busy, they'll just like eventually come around to you. But there, they would like, nobody makes eye contact. Everyone's like staring down, doing their work.
First of all, not a packed bar at all.
Not a packed bar at all. Doing, you know, and this is like high end, okay? This is like in the Radisson.
Yeah, they're like
hotel, rooftop fancy place. It's not like some Joe Schmo, you know, shack. Anyway, so doing their thing, looking down, and eventually, like, so I'm standing there waiting for somebody to be like, you know, can I help you? Can I take your order? And finally, this guy like walks up to the guy that's next, standing across from me, who hasn't looked at me once. And he's like, did she order? The guy's like, no. And I'm like, all right. Like, you could ask me. I'm right here. I don't know. It's just weird. I think it's probably a cultural thing, but it was.
And maybe it was the place we went to. I don't know. Like, maybe if we went to something more like intimate, they would feel more obligated. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's just been our experience that like that wasn't the only place. Like pretty much everywhere we went,
it was kind of like
people just.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Fine.
How
about like, did you feel that way when we went to like jewelry shops?
No, but you know what? I think that in jewelry shops they want you to spend money, so they like.
You're right.
They will be more welcoming because they were more welcoming.
They actually asked us where we were from.
Yeah. They were actually talkative, but I think that's because jewelry is a pricier thing, and so they want to be a little more hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
That's true.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was very.
It's just different.
It's just different, yeah. Well, it's even different from Europe. Like, I didn't expect it to be so different. And it's not like we want people to be, you know, giving us money friendly. They just, you know, like decent friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I remembered what we were going to say for number 2, which is now number 3, thing that we didn't like so much. And it was the fact that there's a lot of buildings that look like they're going to fall apart, particularly in the smaller towns, right? Like Latvia.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, like, it's nice on the inside. Once you get on the inside, a lot of it is already remodeled, but on the outside, it looks like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Literally. Because we stayed in an Airbnb everywhere we went. And the Airbnb in Latvia, when we arrived, it was night. It was like
9:30. It was pitch black.
Pitch black. No street lamps, okay? And we decided to the building on the outside looks like it's just it almost looks boarded in. Like some of the windows were fully cracked. Right?
Yeah. So the first floor, there's windows open, cracked. It looks like people are like threw stuff in there, or people are like, I don't know.
Yeah, it looked, and then the house across the street also looked, well, we only realized that in the daylight, but anyways, we were walking.
Like, there's no way that this is,
we were just like, there's no way. And also the way the directions are to get to this Airbnb is you have to like put it, there's directions, like you have to put in a code to enter like into the house. Like
you have to press the buttons all at the same time to open this door, and then blah, blah, blah.
And then walk up 3 flights of stairs, which we did not think about, but we had luggage, and that was a nightmare, getting all our luggage upstairs and getting it all down eventually. And you know, we get upstairs to this, and we're like the very top floor, the 3rd floor, and there's like a lock on the door, and we have to put in. That's not super like an ordinary, like I've done that before for Airbnbs, but it was just because it was like so messed up.
The building was scary. Like when we got to the front, I literally was thinking like there's gonna be a witch behind me, or like some like, you know, we're breathing hard trying to open this door. But we end up being in a very nice apartment.
Yeah, it was like just the beginning of like entering it. I was like, this is how we're gonna go.
This is it. There's gonna be a man in the shadows with a knife, and he's gonna cut us up and cook us.
Sell us for me. Yeah. You know, I mean, it was ridiculous. Like the thoughts running through our heads, but it was just like
all the stories our parents told us just came back to life. And then there's like a tunnel there.
Yeah, there was like a little arch in the really crappy building. There's a little arch that
outside. I think it connected like the 2 buildings.
Yeah, maybe it connected the 2 yards, and there's just like no lights. And for a minute, because that arch came before the door to our place, I was like, do we have to go through that arch? Because it looks pitch black. It looks like
there's no end. I mean,
there's no end. There's nothing. It's just you walk in and you just walk into a shadow and you
die.
You just die. Yeah. So I for a minute I was like, I've done this, like, I don't think I've ever had this experience with Airbnb where I was like, if this is where we have to go through to get to our apartment, we're going to check into a hotel. Yeah. I have no idea if there's any hotel in Latvia open right now, but we're finding one. We're sleeping in the car, like, if worst comes to worst, because we're not going through that arch.
Like, I think that was one of the only moments where I actually felt fear. I was like, there's just no freaking way.
Yeah, it was. And so then when you walk into that first one, you put in the code and you walk in, those doors, they're literally, I don't know how old they are, but they're broken on the very, like, the bottom of the doors do not touch the floor because they're just raggedy wood by the end.
It's like splintered,
totally splintered. I don't know, like, how old those doors are. It's probably since, like, the 1900s when that building was built. It hasn't.
That's what we noticed. Like, most of the buildings are old, but that being said, they are, like, remodeling, reconstructing.
There's a lot of construction happening outside of the buildings, which is great. Like, it's probably going to take a few years before it really
a lot of years
before it really, and there's, like, graffiti everywhere. There's a lot of graffiti, unfortunately, in all the buildings. So it's just, like, it's not a very pretty sight when you're on the outside. Once you go in the apartment, it was actually really nice. It was very pleasant. It was very modern.
Yeah, it was.
Very nice bathroom. Everything was, like, really nice, and it had all of the modern technologies. Mm-hmm. But it's just getting in there. You have to just know that you kind of have to go through some really uncomfortable places, and try to arrive not in pitch black. Yeah. Try to arrive in the morning. Like, maybe if we arrived earlier, we wouldn't be.
It wouldn't have been bad. Even our host was worried that we said that we're going to be there later. He's like, "Oh, I was a little bit worried about that." So,
yeah.
I mean, kind of like our timing as well, but I mean, we couldn't really.
Yeah, we did. Because by the time we had to rent a car and drive. It just ended up being what it is. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the 3 pluses and 3 minuses of Latvia. Very great. So the pluses: nature, the nature, it's easy to get around in general for Russian speakers, and it's clean. Yeah, it's very clean. And then the minuses are: don't rent a car, or just any car rental issues. The buildings are really scary looking, and then the last one, the people aren't very friendly. But in general, like, it's really cool, place. I'm glad we went. Yeah. I'm glad we went in general, because I mean, I don't think we'll go again, because I think we pretty much seen everything we needed to see in Latvia. I mean, who knows what happens in the future, but it's great that we got to see it. Riga has an old town that's very cute. Mm-hmm.
It's easy to walk around.
Very easy to walk around because it's not very big. We walked everywhere. And then, Jurmala is great. I got this in Jurmala. Mm-hmm. Very pretty. We got jewelry in Riga. Mm-hmm. Or no, Latvia. Mm-hmm. Anyways, there's a lot I'm glad we went. It was fine. It was fun.
It was a good experience.
Good experience overall. But yeah, there's just some things that I was like, woo, wish I was warned about that. But yeah, you guys, thanks for joining us today. If you guys have any experiences in Latvia as well, or any questions, leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Kad debesis nežēlo ūdenī, mēs dedzinām tiltus ar.
Where are we? We are in Latvia, girl. Latvia. Mary, where are we?
We are in Latvia.
Sekundes rīt, sekundēm līdz, ainās kāds uz dzīves rīt, sekundēm līdz, ainās
a cute little park in Riga.
Ūdenī mēs steidzinām tiltus ar pagātnī, lai līst, lai visa pasaule plīst. Ja man nav lemts redzēt tevi sev līdz, atņemiet amoram pūtas, atņemiet amoram tās, lai atkal ir gaisma uz manas ielas. Atņemiet amoram pūtas, atņemiet amoram.
Мэри, куда мы едем? Юрмала. Hello, we are in Jurmala, about 35-minute ride from Riga. It's a cute little gazebo greets you on Yoma Street. I think that's what it's called. It's supposed to be a really cute long street. So we're at a park in Jurmala, and look at how pretty behind me it is. There's trees everywhere.
And then there's Mary.
Mary. There's an amazing playground behind me. It's so cute. So cute. Yeah.
Rokas, rokas, rokas. Sekundes, sekundes rīt, sekundēm līdz, sekundēm līdz. Mainās kā sekundes, sekundes rīt, sekundēm līdz, sekundēm līdz. Mainās kā susīvi. Rokas, tukšuma tausta, tukšumā sirds tev ir augsta. Rokas, tukšuma tausta, tukšums, jo sirds tev ir lausta. Rokas,
Jurmala in the evening. Mary in the evening. Hello. Hello, darling.
tukšumā sirds tev ir augsta. Rokas,